let's talk about you and trading. Like, who mentored you?
Who mentored me?
Yeah.
I think Jason has a very huge part in my trading, both for motivation and trading wise. So I think, yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay, yeah. After being mentored, like, what came into your mind? Like, can you tell us about like how you developed from being that? Because a few years ago, people didn't know KatFloyd. People didn't know anything. Didn't know who
Yeah,
KatFloyd was. But can you
yeah.
like tell us about like how you build yourself from being at the lowest point in terms of withdrawals, your first withdrawals, making money, smoking healthy, eating healthy.
Yeah, I think to be specific, I am someone that like to, if you give me information, a piece of information, I always want to go deeper into that information, because I know there's always one thing that leads me to the next thing. So what I did for myself, okay, in the first 2 years or first 1 year, 6 months after getting like proper mentorship and then start being consistent, I think the ego came in the way, and that's where things changed a bit. Because remember that once you get used to something, once you know it, automatically you should avoid underestimating that just because you have maybe control over that. I think that's one of the things that are very important that I learned in the past few years that I've been in the market as well, is that each and every piece of information is very important. So what I did for myself and what I'm still doing right now, to be honest with you, I'm still doing it right now. There's still people that I learn from right now. I'm never like saying that I know everything. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do or to teach me what to do, because I've been doing this for quite some time or whatsoever. No. What I did for myself is that I went further into understanding myself fully. Remember, I can teach you how to trade, but I can't teach you. I can't teach you how to behave. I can't teach you how many hours that you're supposed to put in the work that I gave you, and what you're supposed to add on the work that I gave you. So I think to be specific, it's always important to take yourself a step further than where somebody else takes you. Because I feel like me getting a mentor was a kickstart for me to understand the foundation of things and how things work, how things work, the motivation I got, the way maybe Jason does things, the way he spend money, the things he focus on. That's part of the energy that I'm trying to exchange with those type of people. So it's very important. People, after getting a mentor, they give their mentor the full responsibility for their success. So let's say just because you paid me 10,000 rands as a mentor, you're no more gonna put in the work that you're supposed to put in. You're gonna wait for me to say, "Hey, bruh, here's a piece of paper. Here's something that you're supposed to study." I think that's where people actually fail the most. I take myself step further. If you show me what a candlestick, I'll spend hours and hours researching of how a candlestick formed. How did we end up using candlesticks? How does candlesticks affect us mentally? Because it's not only about what we see, even the mental part of things is very important. So I think, just to answer you properly, it's always good to take yourself a step further. Don't try to do everything perfect, but always make sure that you improve the things that you do. Because if you try to do things perfect, you might end up looking to do things. You might end up not giving yourself a chance to make mistakes. That goes to like spending money, that goes to finance, that goes to trading. Do anything you want to do. Allow yourself to experience new things so that you can see, learn physically what is this, what is this, what is this. I think the best thing that I did for myself is that I took myself a step further. I did 90% of the work on top of the 10% that was given to me.
then in terms of consistency, like how would you advise your student, like how would you advise anyone in this life? Like how would you tell them how to become consistent? What is consistency?
It's easy for anyone to lose discipline along the way. Just a bit. It's normal because we people, remember, we mostly how we feel, with the emotional state that we're in. So I would give someone advice is that don't focus too much on motivation. I think you should focus a lot more on discipline. You understand? Because motivation is based on emotions. Motivation is what you feel. If, let's say, for example, you follow me on Instagram, you see me posting a video that you like, that might give you motivation. Automatically for that week, you might be hyped up to do the work, put the work in, because you saw that you're feeling what I am feeling. I guess that is motivation. So I think what's important for you, consistency, is not motivation, because there will be days where you wake up and you're not motivated. I think we should focus more on discipline, doing things even though we don't feel like doing things. But making sure we put ourselves in our minds to fall into feeling like doing something. You understand? That's the way to go.
And then the last question is that okay, what keeps you going, man?
What keeps
like
me
what like the energy you have, man. Yo.
It's not always
something else.
It's not always so good. It's not always so good. It's not always the fun. It's not always hyped up. Sometimes I do get stressed out. Sometimes I do fall out of place. It's not that I'm perfect. Remember, this is what I always tell people and say, like social media is mostly the good part of things. Everyone is living a good life on social media. So I think with me going the most is that I can feel that there's something on the other side of everything. I can feel that there's something on the other side of the fear, of the challenges. There's someone else that side that can have huge effect not only in my life but in everyone else's life around. I think even the challenges that I had, man, like there was a time where I was off social media completely. That's because the type of challenges that I had when it comes to like spending recklessly, not being able to manage stress properly, and falling out of the table of the rules that I broke, that I promised myself that I would. So I think because people already know me, right, it's very difficult for me to stop. As well, that gives me motivation that I'm supposed to be doing, because I know there's quite a lot of people that I look at, and there's people that I look up to as well, and those people trust me and believe in me that I will get to them. So I think it's not about me anymore. It's about everyone else that's getting impacted by this that I'm doing on a daily basis. But yeah, I keep my, I know, man, I just wanna win. That's it. That's it.
Alright then, man. Thanks, King. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I think I'm done. Yeah.
How are
Still
you?
looking up to you. Looking up to you. Keep up with the great work, man.
No way. Thanks a lot, buddy. If you wanna maybe get further into this conversation, you can obviously send me now a DM. Because after here, I'm gonna.
Some things that I also wanna ask, but then in private.
Yeah. So after this live, I'm gonna like go on my DMs, just check out everyone that I was speaking to, and then maybe
No problem. Alright.
Cheers, buddy.
Sure.
Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you guys hear me properly? Because a lot of people say I'm echoing. Someone in the video, someone in the live above. Someone in the live above said something. Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Can you guys hear me clearly? Because people are saying I'm breaking. Oh, wait, bro, when it comes to trading, do you have a specific session you trade, or is there a specific time for chart work and looking for setups? There's no time that I specifically trade because I'm a swing / day trader. So that means I do most swinging and I also do day trading as well. That means holding trades maybe within the period of a day or so. There's no specific time that I focus on the market. I did try that. I did try. Obviously, we hear people saying that GBP USD, for example, is mostly volatile during the London session. But the market is the market. The market can move anytime that it wants to move. That's one thing I learned. And that's why I say I'm not specific on the times that I want to trade. I trade when the market says I must trade. Because remember, the market can move at any time. It doesn't mean that from 10 o'clock in the night until 9 o'clock in the morning, GBP USD is not going to move. It's still going to be moving. So I don't know if you say specific time to trade, are you talking specifically based on the chart work that I'm supposed to be doing? That means like analyzing the market and checking the trades that have the potential to play out in the predicted directions. That I do. I focus on that a lot on a Sunday, because Sunday, that's when, you know, my mind is mostly calm. I can't do that on a Saturday. I'm probably out somewhere having fun and doing what. Sunday, late Sunday, come back, check on the pairs that I think might have the potential to play out in my direction or specific direction. Do it on a Sunday, write it down, check the fundamentals that are coming up for that week. That's more like forecasting the market, checking the fundamentals that are going to be coming up for that week, and then writing them down, seeing which fundamentals have a lot of strength that might come along while you're in the trade and actually disturb your trade or the target points that you're actually looking at. So to be specific, it's always good to analyze the market on a Sunday when you mostly come after you have lunch with your family or whatever. Go on the market, check the pairs, check let's say 2 to 3 pairs or 2 to 5 pairs. Because remember, there are a lot of people that they like trade more than I do, obviously. So I think Sunday is the best time, just in case you're also looking for specific time to look at the market. Thing is, looking at the market on Monday, that brings so much pressure, because remember, the market is already open by then. The train already started moving. So as in, people actually are hyped to jump on trades because the market is already moving. I mean, it's Monday. I'm supposed to be on a trade. I'm supposed to make some money this week. I'm supposed to take this $100 account to 150 this week. And that's when you start making mistakes. I feel like you're supposed to mentally prepare yourself to be on the trade or to be in the market before you actually get involved. And then making peace with the fact that you're risking 2% or 1% or 10 or 20 or whatever type of trader that you are. You're comfortable with the type of with the percentage that you're willing to risk. Because remember, in trading, when you're trading like $100 account, $200, $300, $500, that's the backtesting stage of things. You're not going to really put a lot of effort. You might put a lot of effort into that, but you might not put a lot of discipline into that. So you might not care about percentages that you're risking if you're trading a $200 account. Because, I mean, it's $200. With a 0.10, that's actually $1 pip. So that means if you have a 20 pip stop loss, that's $20. So that's obviously 10% of your trading account. So you can't really manage risk when it comes to the backtesting side of things properly, unless you have proper funding to actually backtest with just after you move from your practice account to your real account. So, yep, understanding percentages is very important. being comfortable with the amount of money that you want to risk on a trade before you get into it is very important. It might not be important in the first few months of when you're starting to trade, but as you go on, there's going to be huge funds that you're going to be handling, and you need to understand the percentages you're supposed to risk on that, which is something that people don't really focus on because they don't want to talk about risking 2%. I mean, yes, I understand 2% of $200 is $2. That's literally like $30. That's quite small. It's normal, it's fine, but once you take trading as a full-time career, that's when you understand that you have a funding of 200,000 rands that you need to manage, and then things get difficult by then, because 2% of 200,000 rands is 4,000 rands. That means you're risking 4,000 rands on one trade. That's quite enough. On one trade, you literally risking 4,000 rands. If you win the trade with a good risk reward, maybe let's say a 1:3 risk reward ratio, that's actually 12,000 rands on the trade. If you win 10 trades in a row, that's 120,000 rands. So I think when we understand the risk management when it comes to percentages and what you're comfortable with, going back, I don't want to swerve away from the question that was asked by one of the people that said, when is the right time to analyze? So yeah, there's one thing I can look at. So I have a question from Zanelli. Zanelli says, what do you look for in a D1 chart? Okay, so in the daily chart, I look for momentum, number one. Momentum. So momentum is, when I say momentum, I don't zoom my charts fully out to understand the full momentum, because I want to trade for a week, I want to trade for a day, to be specific. So I always check on the daily chart to understand the past 2 weeks. What is the momentum? Are we bullish? Are we bearish on the daily chart? And then after I do that, I might maybe analyze the strongest key levels that I have on the daily chart. So this has to do with the reversal levels that I believe are strong enough. And then I obviously look at the candlestick formations that come on the daily chart. So if I get a bearish engulfing or a bullish engulfing in a daily chart, then I know it has much more impact when it comes to direction. If I get a bullish or bearish engulfing on a 4-hour or 1-hour chart, and I know it has much more of an effect on the entry point of things. So that's how I actually differentiate the time frames. But most of the work is done now according to the trading style that I am focusing on. I specifically focus on the H4, on the 4-hour time frame, to understand the entries, key levels, and so forth. Yes, using the guideline of the daily chart and the weekly chart to help me understand the full momentum of the pair that I'm looking at. So yeah, that's what I look for in the daily chart. And then Zanella is asking again, where do you check your fundamentals? I check my fundamentals on the weekly economy calendar on www.investing.com. So it's www.investing.com. That's where I check the fundamentals. You click on it, and then once you go on the website, they'll show you if you want to log in or do what. You can register. So when you do register, that means you're going to have the app. You can also download the app investing.com on your Android or your Apple or whatever. And then you go straight to the economic calendar. That's when they will show you the fundamentals that are coming up for the specific week. They can even show you next week's fundamentals. That's why I love investing.com. But some people use Forex Street, FX Street, Forex Factory, but I specifically use investing.com because I feel like some people use CNBC. So yeah, it depends on you. But www.investing.com, that's the website that I use for fundamentals. So I'm gonna go to the next question. So swing trading is less swing. I don't know if this is a question or you're trying to state something, but so swing trading is less emotionally involved than scalping. scalp trading. Scalp trading is meant for people that understand the direction of the market fully. These are people who understand market structure fully. These are people that have been in the market fully. These are people that can control their emotions fully. But sorry about that. But I don't specifically focus on scalping because it's not for my personality. And I'm gonna be honest with myself. I'm not gonna fly into scalping just because I see a couple of people doing it. But I say trading is emotional, both scalping or swing trading, because the longer you wait, the less patient you are. And yeah, so I feel like it's both of them have their pros and cons. It's just identifying yourself and finding the type of person that you are when it comes to trading wise, because there's no use of you understanding the market, understanding technical analysis properly, but you don't understand yourself. Like I said, trading is more personal. So if you understand what you feel when you feel it and how do you manage what you feel, then you can choose what you want to do. How do you get the 1630 direction? I don't specifically focus on NAS 100 or US 30. In that case, I don't focus on indices. I will maybe next year, late next year, but for now, I don't focus on it. That's why I never speak of it. I do know people that are very good at it. Obviously, you get Bailey's very good at it. You get Jay's very good at it. There's people that you can DM and then like try to find out what they do at that specific half past four direction, half past four time. Are you a swing trader? I feel like I'm a swing slash day trader. So I swing most of the time. Not swing like I don't do position trading. I swing trade. So I couple of days. I don't mind holding a trade for a week, 7 days, just like that. So what do I mean by me being a swing slash position, not position, swing slash day trader? Is that I do swing trade, but 30% of the time I also focus on day trading. That means looking at shorter directions. And also that depends on the type of setup that I'm looking at. So let's say GBP USD, I'm looking to target from 17,500 to probably 1,500. So that means I'm looking at 250 pips. And I know that GBP USD or GBP AUD to be specific, because that's the pair that I'm very good at now. I know GBP AUD can move 400 pips in a week. So that depends on the type of setup that I'm looking at. That determines how long I might expect to hold a trade. So, yep, I know GBP AUD can move, guys. Yo, that's the reason why I started trading that.